The wistful scene of horses pulling a sleigh laden with sap from a sugar bush is disappearing in Vermont. The galvanized steel buckets attached to trees with a sugar house in the background is fast becoming the stuff of postcards and paintings. The log house with a rusty chimney poking through the trees is being replaced by the less romantic steel shed and shiny stainless steel evaporators. Larry Letourneau of Derby still clings on to the old ways, though in recent years he has found that he can no longer use his team of Belgian horses to collect the sap.
We got 2,000 bucket in a sugar bush. I love my bucket more than the pipeline. Because the bucket, that sap is clean. While your pipeline, there's no way in hell you can clean it.
Well, people still use buckets, and there are certainly plenty of operations that do. They contribute a pretty small, a tiny fraction to the total yield, the total crop of syrup. But they're there, they're visible, it is a connection to the past, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to go to that tree at least once a day when the sap is really running and collect it. Tubing was invented as a labor-saving device originally, so that sugar makers didn't have to employ so many people just to empty buckets. And then as technology adapted and increased, we were able to see that you can get more sap per tap when you use vacuum on that tubing.
Yes, things are changing. Big operators are moving in, like this converted furniture factory in Island Pond, managed by a Wall Street hedge fund. Maple Guild is tapping thousands and thousands of young maples in northeastern Vermont. Compressors suck the sap out of the trees during the spring with thousands and thousands of feet of plastic tubing strung out like a spider's web through the acres of hillside woods. It doesn't just drip out, as with the old bucket system, and some old-timers like Larry Letourneau don't think that is such a good idea.
You got these big pump, big outfit, suck the sap dry right to the end. Well, I'll tell you what, if you're just like you, if I took all the blood out of you, you might be sick and you might die.
Sugar maples are a very hardy, long-lived tree. We're not talking about a crop of corn or something where you grow it one year, cut it down, do it again. You're talking about individual trees that are grown in a wild forest over a long term. So seeing differences in how a tree responds to this modern technology will take time. Here at UVM, we're researching a long-term project at how modern technology impacts the growth of trees. So we have a group of trees that have never been tapped before, and within that group we've divided up into a block that are tapped in a more traditional way without vacuum, a block that have been tapped with high vacuum, and a block that won't ever be tapped. And we're following them over the long term to see, is that increased extraction of sugar impacting the growth and health of the tree. We're only in the third year of that study, so it's going to take at least 10 years to see any meaningful results.
One way or the other.
No, because the amount we're taking out, even with modern technology, is still a fairly small percentage of the tree's total. And within 1 or 2 years, it would be, you wouldn't really see an impact, if one will occur at all.
There's no turning back from progress. Automation and economy of scale means more and more big operations selling to big food processing companies. That means you're going to see more and more maple products on the shelves. That's going to be good for Vermont and its economy. Maple syrup is on its way to becoming ubiquitous, maybe even eventually like milk. Perhaps one day people who now wonder where their milk comes from will be asking the same question about maple syrup.